presented to you by Southern States Bank.
Farmer gets the victory. Buckhead goes to Florida.
Give me the Gadsden City Titans. Welcome to the Week 2 edition of The Winning Drive, presented to you by Southern States Bank. Got a couple of guests here, but we're going to start with a phone interview. First, we got Coach Marco Bryant from the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Coach, you played last night, got a big win over Galesville. How do you feel about the year so far?
So far, so good. We're banged up, though, now. Chandler, I'm going to tell you, we're banged up. We got to get healthy. That's our biggest thing right now. Our biggest obstacle is getting healthy.
Well, I would say that a lot of schools are in the same situation of trying to get healthy. And me and you talked a little bit earlier today. It's kind of, in high school football, you don't want to peak too early. Last year, you guys peaked at the right time. And so I see y'all peaking again. I talked to you earlier about a lot of people kind of counted y'all out after that Geraldine loss. But that turned out to be a team that's going to be tough to reckon with in 3A.
I think they're one of the definitely, three best teams in North 3A. I do believe they're up there in that level. But no, we've had a lot of boneheaded mistakes that really cost us. A game in which Michael does a great job with those boys now. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
Great coach, great person. But that game was a lot closer than it looked. A lot. It should have been really a touchdown difference.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. And, early in the year, teams are trying to gel, and it's just tough. I mean, the ball bounces ways that makes games look like it's a lot different game than what it actually is. And so we talked earlier, and I told you that I wish that game would have been played later on in the year. We used to play, when I was the defensive coordinator at Mumford, we used to play Clay Central the very first game of the year, and I always wish we could have played them game 5 or 6 when we were actually rolling offensively. I know you feel the same way about that game.
100%, man. I really enjoy, playing against Michael because his kids are very classy, and he's a classy coach for sure. But I really do wish we could play them game 5, game 6, because we're always going to be a team that starts slow and starts gelling after 3-4 weeks into the season. That's just the way our school is built, the way our makeup of our kids are.
No doubt.
I thought, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I thought I put the kiss of death on you because I went ahead and told everybody after the Jamboree that I was picking you to win, not just win the North, but win 1A. And
wow.
I said, because these guys are loaded. And then the next, you go out there and that happens, and everybody says, don't pick my team. Don't pick my team. I said, look, I told Chandler, I said, Geraldine must be loaded. There's no way that score is right. Geraldine must be loaded.
Well, we made a lot of blunders. I mean, really bad blunders in that game. And again, like I told Chandler earlier today, we're always going to struggle at the beginning of the year. And Chandler knows those reasons. I went into discussion with him as those reasons. And those are things that I'm going to be out of my element. And so we're always going to be better at the back end of the season than we will at the front end of the season, for the reasons that Chandler and I discussed.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. But I know, Buckethead was all about y'all. He came and saw y'all in person in that Jamboree. And so the Geraldine game, like we talked about, but how do you see who are some guys right now that's played really well for you? I mean, obviously a huge win last week against Spring Garden, a huge win last night against Galesville. Who's been some guys that's really stood out to you that's playing really well for y'all so far this year?
I think you have to pot it up really and just say the defense is playing out of their mind, and they played out of their mind against Geraldine. All right, I mean they were really, really, really good defensively against Geraldine. Okay, again that score, don't let it mislead you. If you see the tape, you see what I'm talking about, Chandler. But the defense has played very well. Offense is finally starting to find some kind of simulation of what we want to do. And, of course, the kicking game is always going to be a strength of ours because I feel like we've got, one of the top kickers in the state.
Yeah, well, Buckethead, you got any more questions?
I'm good. Good luck to you guys the rest of the season, Coach, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot more. I'm positive of that.
Man, it was fun having the interview with you after that jamboree. I really got to. It was a good interview and it was a fun time.
Well, I told him the greatest thing about the interview was you told me to go over to the concession stand and get whatever I wanted, and it was on Coach O. That's what he said.
Hey, Coach, we're going to send you a check for making him look good. We appreciate you doing that.
That's good, man. Well, y'all welcome anytime, man.
All right, no doubt, Coach. We're going to come up there and see you. We wanted to talk with you. We want to get some highlights from you guys so we can showcase them as well. But we appreciate you coming on with us, Coach, and good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you, Chandler, and I appreciate it, Buckethead.
See you, buddy.
Anytime now.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Coach Mark O'Brien from the Coosa Christian Conference.
You know he's a Navy SEAL, too.
He is a Navy SEAL. I wish he would have got after you. You need somebody to humble you a little bit.
You know, I knew he was a Navy SEAL when I got there, and I was like, you know, maybe a split second I might take him for a minute, but I ain't fooling with him.
All right, I want to tell you some Class 1A matchups right quick because I kind of want to. I want to allude to something in a minute. Don't give it away yet. Okay. Leroy, the number 1 team in Class 1A, plays McIntosh. That's a 1-0 Leroy versus an 0-2 McIntosh. So that game's probably not going to be close. Elba is really good again versus an 0-2 Houston County. Pickens County, always good versus Summerton Christian. Lynn at Alabama Christian. Brantley, who always is good, at McKenzie. That's a 2 1-1 teams.
Hold on, let me say this. Brantley had some players earlier this year that won Players of the Week from somebody, and they give them a chicken biscuit bucket, and they got 2 players suspended because they got Player of the Week and went and got the chicken.
Yeah.
Now that's ludicrous.
Well, okay. Without you getting us in trouble with the state and trying
I'll
to make
tell
sure
the state
I
too.
like going down there to the Super 7 doing all that stuff. Without doing that, it does sound crazy that we crack down on people getting chicken with everything else we got going on in state and high school football. All right, so let me keep going, please. Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, Sweetwater at University Charter School, Milry at Southern Choctaw, Forala at Georgiana, Meek versus Waterloo, Spring Garden at Wadley. Okay, so Spring Garden at Wadley.
We ain't going to pick them. We'll pick them later.
We're not going to pick them.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good ball game.
But I like that Sweetwater game up there against the University Charter. That's going to be a good ball game. University Charter is a really good school that sort of put together a really good team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But here's the thing that stood out to me there. We just talked to Coach Mark O'Brien from Coosa Christian. They just went in and beat Spring Garden 20-6.
Beat their eyes
and
out.
he felt like that 21-6, and he felt like that game could have been even worse.
I was there.
He ain't gonna say that.
It could have been a lot worse.
But they're not even ranked in Class 1A. This is a team that was a fluke play last year, or I'm not gonna call it a fluke play, but a miracle play last year from going to Jordan Hare and playing for a state championship to starting out the year 1-1, beating a Spring Garden who's a powerhouse, was a powerhouse in 2A and now in 1A, and they're not ranked.
And their loss came to a ranked Geraldine team.
They just went and beat 5.
Just went and beat 5. I mean,
so
a 3A, they're a 1A, got beat by a 3A ranked 3A team that just beat 5, which we all know 5 is.
Yeah, 5 has got a chance to play for another 2A state title this year. And so that was something that was one of those things where I feel like they got slotted, and they don't care. Nobody. These rankings mean absolutely nothing. Nobody played
don't mean
a
anything
single
to him, but
region matchup.
I mean, you got 5 still ranked 4th in 2A.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, they got beat by Geraldine.
Yeah, no doubt. But so Class 2A, and we'll go through Class 2A, and then we'll go to break. But Class 2A, we got BB Comer versus Woodland. Woodland's 1-1. Coach Joe Shinks trying to do a really good job there, but he's going to run up against a buzzsaw tonight. Kamari Harris.
Kamari Harris is one of the better backs in our area.
There's no doubt about it. Highland Home plays at number 7 Goshen, so that's a top 10 matchup right there. A top 10 matchup in Class 2A tonight.
I like Highland Holmes in that matchup, if you ask me.
I wouldn't ask you.
I know, but I like him in that matchup.
Pisgah and Sandrock play tonight. Sandrock struggling.
I like Pisgah a lot in that one, even if they got half their players with COVID.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate you. Once again, we did not ask you for your opinion. Sandrock, Coach Alan Heath, love you, buddy. Appreciate
I hate
you
that you have years like that sometimes where you're rebuilding.
5 at North South Mountain. You never want to play Coach Paul Benefield in 5 after a loss.
I don't.
Don't want to do that because I can't imagine what.
But
their
I will
practices
say,
were like.
don't go to North South Mountain thinking you're just gonna walk in there and get a win.
All right. Okay, I hear you. Are you you picking North
No,
South
I ain't
Mountain?
picking.
Okay.
No, don't get carried away.
I just thought you was rolling.
The next team you feel to talk about may win it all in 2A.
Reeltown.
Yes.
At Lafayette. Reeltown is very talented.
Yeah.
Yes. They did get beat by B.B. Comer last year.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir.
Before anybody else makes it from 2A in that whatever B.B. Comer is, they need to be able to tackle Kamara Harris.
Oh,
I
I
need
agree.
to see that happen.
Not many people want to do that.
No, they don't. Not at 2A. Vincent versus Central Coosa. Vincent will win tonight, I believe. But Vincent's played 2 1A schools, so I'm ready to see how they go against 2A
I'm not sold on Vincent right now. I don't know if it's the same Vincent team that was here last year. Raglan played.
They did beat.
Raglan, if you watch video on that, Raglan played Vincent really well. Really well.
They did beat but I think Raglan's a talented 1A, and I also think that Winterboro's a talented 1A. Going on, Goshen plays at Highland Home. You already told me that you think Highland Home's going to win that one. Tuscaloosa Academy versus Aliceville. Aliceville's 0-2, but they're usually super athletic.
I don't know if it's a down year or they played really above the
Laverne
classification.
is 2-0 versus Barber County.
Laverne's
and then
good.
Ayrton is playing Geneva County. And so that's the Class 2A top 10 matchups. So we're going to take a break, pay a few bills, and then when we come back to the winning drive sponsored by Southern States Bank, we have a special presentation for you. What are you about to talk about?
I could have put the money line on
top
top 10.
And then there we go, that guy again pulling out the margin line. That I have no idea when we started doing margins lines for high school football. Like, what in the world's going on? We're putting margin lines on people who have mom and daddy have to still bring them to football practice.
Well, I mean.
Some of them. All right, so we're going to break, pay some bills. When we're back, we'll be joined by a special guest, and also we'll have a special presentation for you.
Our legacy presentation, our legacy series presentation, as soon as we come back.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your local bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We're on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. Stop being just another number at the big bank and start being a neighbor at Southern States Bank. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
There's a special place where overtime gives way to family time, where fast pace becomes a little slower lifestyle. At Campers Unlimited, we can help get you there, where your lake house, beach house, or tailgate headquarters can have the same address. We carry the top brands in America like Grand Design and Forest River. With a large selection, we're sure to have a floor plan that fits your needs. So when you're ready to disconnect in order to reconnect, take the easy drive to Campers Unlimited on Interstate 59 in Gadsden or shop us online at campersunlimited.net.
Serving Calhoun County in the state of Alabama since 1994, offering some of the most competitive interest rates in the mortgage industry, along with a wide variety of mortgage products. We are with you throughout the home buying process, offering you service before and after the close. Fast, reliable, local. Visit us today or apply online at our website, jacksonmortgageco.com.
And you remember, if you need a home loan, call my daddy.
Welcome back to the winning drive presented by Southern States Bank. We are at the point of the show that's became my favorite part of the show. It is our legacy series part of the show, where we go and recognize somebody who left a legacy right here in our communities. Today is a very special individual to me. a man that I had an opportunity to play for, a man that it's crazy that it's been 14 years now since he's been gone, but a man that left an impact on everybody that he touched. And that man for our Legacy Series today is Coach Keith Howard, who spent many years at Lincoln, also at Ragland, but you best know him as a Golden Bear. So as the Golden Bears get ready to kick off tonight, there's a man who had a vision, who loved that community, and we want to present to you the Legacy Series, Keith Howard. Welcome back. You can see that I am joined by Coach Chad Martin and also Buckethead. Chad, you had the opportunity to play for him, coach with him at Ragland and then at Lincoln, and then also take over for him. What did Keith Howard mean to you?
There's so many things. Looking at that and reflecting back on all those memories just come flooding back. And, you know, he gave my first chance. And to get to work with someone, to see somebody so passionate. His passion was, you know, I'll always say this, one thing Keith always did was it was always faith, family, and then Lincoln High School and then Lincoln football. He truly loved every kid at that school, regardless of their athlete, band member, a student. He loved everything that was Lincoln.
I know I got to coach. I had the privilege to coach with Chad and Coach Howard for a couple years, and you know, I remember when Keith called me and asked me, did I want to come down there, and I said absolutely. And one thing I'll always remember about Keith is he made you feel like family. And even though that was my first year coaching, he never treated me like it was my first year coaching. I mean, I was just as much a part of anything that went on as anything. And, you know, he didn't care. And you stated this, but it's so true. And it was actually on the video and people seen it. We couldn't really see it, but he didn't care the first questions he asked his coaches that he was hiring was, "Are you a family man and do you love kids?"
That's it.
And you know, so the event that happened when he died, the night he died, my wife was in the hospital sick, and I just went. I went to some of y'all's games and but that game I didn't get to. And I remember I was coming home from the hospital, and Terry Roller, good dear friend to all of us, principal there at that time, called me and said, "We just lost Keith." And I was driving down the road. My wife's in the hospital, and I had to pull over and I said, "What'd you say?" And he said, "We just lost Keith." And the point that you made in the article that we took a lot of the quotes from was you were on the sideline. Keith handed you and said, "They're yours." And you got headsets on coaching. And then all of a sudden you hear in the headset, he's gone. What went through your mind at that time, Chad?
I was numb for a second. I remember radioing back up to, at that time, you know, I was defense coordinator before that, so all I had was defensive headset. And so it was the offensive head, the guy in the box talking, and I said, "What did he say?" And they repeated it. And I remember I turned, I just looked in the crowd and looked at the team and thought, what am I going to do with all this? Because I knew how much Keith meant to the whole community. He was a football coach, and he was all those things, but he truly embedded somebody in the community all looked up to because he had such high standards. He did have love for everybody. And I just thought to myself, how am I going to let these 84 guys know that their head coach is no longer with us? You know, and a lot of people don't realize, but, you know, at this time also, his wife attended most games, but his daughter was not feeling well, and so his wife was with her in Anniston. And so I immediately went to Lisa and Lindsay. You know, it's just all those emotions, and it's like time just slowed down. And I thought, you know, I can't let these guys know now because it's so emotional. I still, you know, that's a vision that occasionally still pops into my head when I'm driving down the road. Because our conversation we had, you know, right before he got into the ambulance, I could tell something was off, but I had no idea it was that. So it was a tough night for everybody involved with Lincoln and Lincoln High School.
Well, one of the things that I know, Keith always wanted Lincoln to have the best of everything. And we pushed while we were there, and he was the forerunner on this to get every dime he could get to do what you can see in the picture here behind us. People say he didn't get to see it finished. And it is sad that he didn't get to walk on that field finished.
Yes.
But he sees it. He sees it every day. He's as much a part of Keith Howard Memorial Stadium as that turf is on the ground out there.
Yes. A lot of people, you know, if they're newer to the Lincoln community, you may not even understand. Everything we have is because of Keith's drive and push to get all this built, because a lot of people don't realize this. Us as coaches, the indoor complex they have now, us along with, at the time, Mr. Neil Phillips, who, you know, helped lay the block.
Oh, yeah.
We did a lot of the work. You know, it wasn't an outside company who came in and did it. So us as coaches
Couldn't even do that anymore.
No, us as coaches built. We played a lot of those blocks. I was up there, me and some other assistant coaches, on top of that wall, pouring concrete down into those walls before they got finished. So
that was the year that I left, the year that we were building that. And I remember my baseball team everybody that was involved in Lincoln Athletics was selling everything they could sell to build that building.
100%.
We were selling cornerstones and things like that. And I just remember doing that in bricks. And
yes.
it was a fun time to be a Golden Bear. It still is.
Yes.
I just hope I know they do, because I know how they feel about Keith. Because Keith was Lincoln, and he'll never be forgotten.
Keith is Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like when I think about Lincoln High School, I think about Keith Howard. Not just because of the way he treated me when I was down there. Not just from getting to see him from behind the scenes, because you were a coach, so I got to see him in a different light than even some of the other players. But knowing what he did to make all that happen, like if Keith Howard if he was still alive, he would be a politician, because he could go out.
He was a politician.
He could go out and raise money as good as anybody I've ever seen, but it was because of the relationships that he built. He was a guy that always built relationships, and I think that's the reason why you get choked up and you still think about him all the time 14 years later. That's the reason you got choked up, is because he was all about relationships. And we talk about it all the time in coaching. If you build relationships, then you can coach people as hard as you want to coach them. But you have to build relationships, and that's where some of these coaches that are coming along now, they don't build the relationships. So I think Keith Howard was unbelievable at that.
And a lot of people, and now I can share stuff he would never have wanted you to know, but he always kept money in his top desk drawer, because anytime a kid needed it for anything, Keith would take it out of his own pocket. Keith would raise money, but he never wanted money for himself. If you know, Keith didn't spend on himself, but he would give you and give athletes. I know I've seen him personally hand over $200 out of his own wallet after we went to the bank for a kid to be able to go and attend a camp because their parents could not afford it.
Yeah.
And nobody would ever know, and he would never let you say anything about it. And so just those things that you have no idea. We fed the players a lot. At the time, you know, when we first went to Nike, a lot of people, you know, when we became a Nike school, because before that we were not. You know, there's other stories that I cannot share, but we were not a school. But he went to Nike. He said he was one of those kids at Lincoln who may not have had some of those things to have the best clothing out there. And so everything we did was really about the kids.
Yeah, because he could care less what he wore.
He could care less.
No, he could care less. As long as we could go to the Waffle House and eat, that's all he cared about.
We went to Waffle House now. We're Waffle House at least.
They owe him some money.
Oh, yeah. We'd walk in and they'd start cooking orders. We went so often.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and it's just, you know, and the thing was, what Keith meant to me is just watching how he cared for people. And he cared for everybody. I think what amazed me more than anything was seeing that when we got to the new school, we built the indoor complex. And people do not know this who are not in the program. And I don't know how many people that are in the program knew this. The reason the girls worked out is because Keith said he wanted the girls to have the same opportunities that our guys did. So he had the weight class created to make sure that every girl athlete had a weight class just like every guy did. And back then, when we did that, when he got that implemented, that was not very common throughout the state. So that just shows you how much he cared about.
He was a visionary. I mean, that's the stadium's a vision of his. And here's another thing. Keith wanted the best of the best for his kids.
Yes.
And here, people probably don't even remember this, but once the indoor facility was built, if you probably remember this, Oxford actually went down and practiced in that indoor facility because they didn't have that kind of facility.
Actually, for 3 or 4 years, they would come down and use the facility and run on the track. Because we were, I think, maybe the first turf field in the state of Alabama for a high school. And Keith, the pleasure it gave him for Lincoln to have something so nice, how proud it made him. You know, it was just, where you see the turf at now, the funny story, it wasn't funny at the time when I was coaching and doing this work, but he had all of us coaches. We went down to the old football field, and they got the turf. We cut the turf up.
I remember that.
And we rolled it all up, and we were going to turf the field, the new field with the old field turf.
But that was Keith wanting to say, I mean, that was the best way we could do it. We did it. I mean, we went down and did that.
We worked for 2 weeks, and we got just the sidelines. And we finally said,
can't do it, Coach.
We're going to die, and we can't have any time to coach kids because we are laying inside every day, 10 hours a day. But, you know, it's just the memories. You know, if you look and you see what a softball field is, I'll never forget the first game we played was Talladega. We were going to play there. Well, they just dug the trench to put the cable down. So the Thursday night before we played on Friday, all of us coaches up there, shovels, we were filling in that trench for about 60 yards so we could play the next night. And so by the time that game's over Friday night, I'll never forget, I said, Coach Howard, I don't know if I can do any kind of coaching in the world. But I tell you, I can build a building and lay cable and do everything else it does with construction.
You wear a shovel out.
After coaching at Lincoln High School. And so, you know, but those times, those memories, you know, it built our relationships stronger and closer with each other. We had the best staff there. I can't say enough about the guys there. And you asked earlier about with Keith. You know, when you look at that staff that was there, we had a great staff, but they were great men. And just all of us together lean on each other because it was not easy. and I just really appreciate what they did to help our community.
I you know, like I said, I'd been gone a couple years when Keith passed, and it was a part of, y'all were still a part of me. The kids, because of the way we loved on the kids, they were still a part of me. I wanted them the best for them, and it just crushed. I mean, like I said, it's one of them moments in history where you know exactly where you were at when you got that call. Well, I remember I was driving down Quintard and know exactly where I was at when I got the call.
And, you know, and all that, I have to say, I have to give kudos to my wife, because at the time we had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old when all this happened and transpired. So me trying to deal with those emotions of all that, becoming the head coach week 1 of the season. And myself, I was young. I just turned 32 years old. Dealing with all of that and the support that she was. But that's also one of those things that Keith always was about. It's always about family. So I just appreciate her for that time also.
Well, thanks for making me feel old. Because you had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and I taught the 2 older ones and coached the younger ones. So I appreciate you making me feel.
But I want to say this too. We're talking about Keith Howard, but there was another great, Lincoln great, that passed just recently. We're talking about Hippo, Mike Turner, 100%. And that was a dynamic. That was Batman and Robin. They were a dynamic duo when they were together at Lincoln.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the stadium was built. All that you guys see now that we enjoy at Lincoln High School, you know, and that's my alma mater too. So I'm so glad to see and the success that they're having. But all that was built on napkins at the Waffle House in Lincoln.
No doubt.
All this was sketched out and laid out, and so all this multi-million-dollar facility that we see here was on napkins at Waffle House in Lincoln.
Don't tell people that. The people at the board office right now in Talladega County, like their skin's crawling.
Well, you know, it probably from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is when it was done most nights, because after football game.
Yeah, you didn't ever know what you knew after the game you was going there, but during the day, Keith just walked up. Didn't matter what time of day it was. Hey, let's go Waffle House.
Yeah,
didn't matter.
I'm gonna tell you the funny how much Keith does relationships, and and it's just embedded, and I guess embodies who he is. The job at Lincoln, I was not even applying for a job at Lincoln. I was still at Ragland. I was sitting in PE class, and I see Coach Howard walk in the door. I'm like, what? This is like 10 o'clock in the middle of the day. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, you're coming to Lincoln next year. I said, Coach, I don't know if there's even a job open. He's like, yes, sir. So he brought me an application. I filled it out right there in the bleachers, and that's just how he did things. I mean, he went after and wanted what's best for everybody, but he always took care of me and my family, and I can't thank him enough.
There wasn't a spot he made it.
The man could get more things to happen. He really and truly, because everybody knew he had a good heart, and they knew that what he was doing was to be best for kids and for the community. And so a lot of times things happen because he was relentless in making sure that it happened.
Yep. Well, hey, we're going to take a break, pay some more bills, but Keith Howard, not just the legendary coach, but left a legacy that impacted the whole entire community and more. When we come back, we'll start looking at the film room and then make picks later. We'll be right back on The Winning Drive, presented to you by Southern States Bank.
I want to introduce to you Oxford Lumber's 2023 All-American team.
Michael B., Power Tools.
Shaw, Outdoor Power Equipment.
Danny Jones, Store Manager.
Rich, Grills and Receiving.
My name is Derek Linkle, your steel technician here at Oxford Lumber.
David, Paint Department.
Greg Couch, Paint Department.
Come see our All-Americans at Oxford Lumber and let us get you what you need for your next building project.
Crawford Office Supply, we have everything you've been looking for. From desks and chairs all the way down to janitorial, break room, and school supplies, we have it all. We even do printing, and we offer free delivery for businesses in Calhoun County. And great news, we're running a brand new deal on scratch and dent furniture. We're a local family-owned business, open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30 and Friday from 8 to 3. So please come and see us here at Crawford Office Supply so we can make all your office dreams come true.
Hello, my name is John Pirani, co-founder of Man Up Gadsden. It's that time of year again for Casting for Cancer. As you know, it's become one of the largest charity bass tournaments in the state of Alabama. But this year is going to be unique. We're offering free prostate cancer screening with a simple blood test for all men over age 40. So if you can't be there on Saturday, September 2nd at Coosa Landing as an angler, we'd love to have you as a spectator.
Welcome back to the Winning Drive presented to you by Southern States Bank. Great interview right there with Coach Chad Martin.
You know, it brought back so many memories, and like you said, I'm one of the fortunate ones as a father that got to coach my own son. I got to do it at Lincoln. I got to do it at Oxford. When you were at Lincoln, you came down and played a year at Lincoln for us, and then Coach Niblett stowed you back to Oxford, so I had to go back to Oxford. I had no choice. If I wanted to see my son play, I had to go to Oxford.
Don't say too much there. You might be incriminating.
It is incriminating. The statute of limitations is gone, though. I mean, it cost me a baseball season. So, I mean, you take my best player off the team, and, I mean, it cost me a whole season. So, but, no, it was a great interview. Keith Howard meant so much to so many people. And here's what we'll ask you. We're going to post the video again on our Facebook page, just the Keith Howard video. But we'd love for you to come on and tell us what Keith Howard means to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
On our Facebook page.
No doubt about it. But getting back into this week's matchup, when we left for break the first time, we were talking about top 10 matchups this week, who the top 10 teams matched up with. Mars Hill plays Colbert Heights, not the same Colbert Heights that used to be in Mars Hill.
We're in 3A now.
We're in 3A,
Yeah,
Class 3A.
yeah.
Mars Hill is really, really good. You're dying to give the money line.
I'm not going to
again.
give the money line on. I ain't going to do that.
Mars Hill and Colbert Heights, Mobile Christian and W.S. Neal, St. James.
That Mobile Christian W.S. Neal game may be a good one because W.S. Neal's offense is pretty. It's a weird offense to get ready for.
So you got W.S. Neal and Mobile Christian, just like you said, St. James and Prattville Christian, Madison Academy and J.B. Pennington. Gordo and Winfield, that could be a really good matchup as well. Gordo and Winfield tonight.
I agree.
Houston Academy don't play. They're off this week. Geraldine and Plainview, I'm afraid that Plainview is
in
it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Piedmont at number 9 Sylvania. So you got an 8-9 matchup.
Listen, this is not going to be a walk in the park for Piedmont. I mean, they're going to Sylvania. I think it's going to be a tough game. I mean, I'm not picking Sylvania. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Then you got rounding out 3A, the number 10 team, Strawn at Daleville. Daleville, that hurt your feelings because they beat your Mumford Lions back in 1992.
I don't really hurt my feelings. Listen, I tip my hat to good teams that have beat any classification in the state that year. They had 5 guys go to D1, 5 offensive linemen go D1 schools that year. I mean, that's unheard of back in the day.
I'm familiar with Strawn. We went down there and played Strawn in the second round of the playoffs in 2015 when I was the defensive coordinator at Mumford.
But Daleville's fell off a lot.
Yeah, Daleville's fell off. Strawn
hasn't.
Strawn is still pretty good. Obviously, a top 10 team ranked after week 1.
They'll strap it on against Andalusia every year. You know
but Strawn, they have a cool atmosphere at their
field
team.
Really do. It is a rowdy atmosphere.
That was it had to be fun to coach in, but it was really fun to play in.
Yeah.
In Class 4A, Andalusia, we saw how good they were last week versus Dale County. Andalusia's going to be tough. We've seen Cherokee County now 2 weeks in a row be pretty dominant against 2 pretty good programs in our area.
No good hope. No good hope for Good Hope.
No. Catholic Montgomery is a team that everybody's kind of sleeping on, but I think they got a chance to be really good. Those top 3 teams that I just mentioned, and even going in to the number 4 ranked team right now, Jackson, They play Orange Beach tonight.
Well, you don't have to stop at Jackson. Keep going.
Jacksonville has looked really good.
Yeah.
We have a 5-6 matchup this week at Handley. We have Jacksonville. The Golden Eagles travel to the number 6 team, who looked really good against the number
1.
The number 3.
They were number 1.
They were number 1. The number 3 team now
they were number
in
1.
Class 3A
That's why they're
look
3.
really good. Yeah. And so that's going to be a matchup right there that I think is going to be very intriguing tonight. West Morgan at Brooks. We will have a cameraman at Handley in Jacksonville, by the way. Aniana and Hanceville. T.R. Miller, Wilcox Central, and Anniston dropping down to number 10, playing Montford.
T.R. Miller this year is back in the T.R. Miller that everybody knows and learned to love or hate if they were playing your team. They're really good this year. And
are they really good?
Anniston is good as well.
They're 1-1.
I know it, but it just depends on who you play now. Anniston played the number 1 team in the state.
Yeah.
So Anniston ranked number 10th, and they're 1-1 because they played Andalusia.
Yeah.
Andalusia's going to do that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to slap a lot of people around. There ain't nothing you can do about
that. Class 5A.
Everybody didn't think I was telling the truth.
You was right. I hated to get to this point. Saturday morning, I'll give you you said Pleasant Grove, but there will be a new number 1 team in 5A, Pleasant Grove. It's very disrespectful in my part, and I love Coach LeBeau. Very disrespectful to Ramsey.
Coach, don't give him no gear. Don't give him no gear.
He ain't gave me no gear in
4
years.
Don't give him none because he's being.
Listen, let me explain. Pleasant Grove, really good. The last time that them and Ramsey faced each other, they lost twice last year to Ramsey. And so.
It's a new year.
I understand it's a new year. Ramsey's still really good. They got beat by 6A Parker, who's ranked in Class 6A. We'll be there in just a minute.
I agree.
I feel like losing a game 20-17 against a team that's ranked in the classification above you shouldn't make you lose your position. But it did. You were right. I'll give you your due. I don't agree with it, but you were right. Ramsey and Jasper tonight. Faith Academy versus the number 18.
That'll be a good one right there.
Yeah, that's a top 10 matchup.
That'll be a good
That'd be a real good
knocker.
one. Charles Henderson at Greenville. Moody at Alexandria. We will be there tonight.
Yep.
We'll be there. Yep.
No.
No.
They'll be out of them.
UMS Wright versus LaFleur. Beauregard and Valley. Is Beauregard real again? Are they good again this year?
This is what I was going to say. Beauregard is good again this year, and I'm going to tell you why. Can they get it done against Valley? I don't know because the Valley's got a really couple good athletes. But here's the bad thing about that. Both of them are on Sylacauga schedule.
Here's my question. Going back up to Moody, are they as good as they were a year ago? This is why I really want to go see a little bit of this game tonight. Or are they? Because they struggle a little bit with Sylacauga.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that right now. I mean, I was all on Moody. I still am on Moody, but I'm not seeing the Moody of 22. Moody of 23's got to show me what they can do.
And they may just take a minute to get it rolling, but they didn't.
You can't take a minute against Sylacauga.
Yeah, you're right, because last night it was pretty.
Elmore County beat Sylacauga's brains in.
Yeah, Elmore County's got a few more athletes than
that
what
big
we're
running
accustomed.
back they got.
They've got a few more athletes than they had the 2 years
you
that
glad
we played them.
You glad when you
I'm
was
glad
at
I
White
hit them when I
Plains,
got
you hit
them.
them when you hit them.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gulf Shores. We just talked about that. It's going to be a good matchup. I appreciate it.
2 dubs on your record.
Appreciate it. All right, Central Clay County versus Tallahassee. Tallahassee 0-2. Not used to seeing a Mike Battles Jr. team at 0-2.
I wish it was a Tallahassee. I just love their stadium. Their stadium is amazing.
It's a cool place.
It's a cool place to play.
My sister almost got kicked out of that.
Well, because she needed to.
She was pregnant. She was banging on.
Knocking signs down. She's a rowdy person.
She acts like her daddy.
That's your mama's side.
All right, and then Leeds rounding out the number 10 team. Leeds at Springville could be a pretty good matchup.
I want to see what Springville can do. I like Springville.
You keep saying that, but Leeds, Springville, they have a common opponent.
I know.
They both played Mortimer Jordan.
I know.
Leeds got beat by Mortimer Jordan.
Pretty handily.
Springville got beat by Mortimer Jordan 35-28. That could be a good ball game. You keep trying
Didn't I tell you that Friday morning?
You didn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I did. I was really impressed with that 7-point loss to Mortimer Jordan.
Okay.
Well, they call them Jordan.
Let me finish getting through 6A.
Okay, go ahead.
Saraland.
It don't matter who they play.
I talked to Coach Ripley. He said don't ever call him out on live television again. I talked to him earlier today.
What did I call him?
About getting beat by Saraland by 50 last week.
Well, listen,
he said that
if you're the defensive coordinator, at least step out on the field, trip the guy going down the side.
He
get a penalty or
said
something.
that they have the best receiver in the state, which is true. They have the best quarterback in the state, which is true. And he said they have a defensive lineman that nobody's talking about that could be the best.
Do you know how to neutralize them?
Don't play them.
No.
They had to.
Well, you don't. Yeah, if you have to.
You call Rico Jackson and say, why did you put them on the schedule? But they had to play them because they got a 9-team region.
But here's what I would say. You know how you neutralize them? You get somebody you can afford to lose.
No.
To go out there and make sure you
don't do that. don't do that. Don't listen to him. Saraland and St. Paul. So there's a top 10 matchup in Class 6A, but I don't think it'll be as close as I don't think it'll be that close, unfortunately, for St. Paul. I think Saraland's in a different league. Clay Chalkville.
Saraland may be the best team in the
Clay
state.
Chalkville at Pell City. Yeah. Clay Chalkville at Pell City.
Listen.
Don't pick it yet. You get
I'm not. But don't just say Clay Chalkville at Pell City and act like Clay Chalkville gonna smoke them.
That's gonna happen.
That's
gonna happen.
Don't act like it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, you just said that Pell City got new air-conditioned helmets.
That's gonna happen. Yeah. See how that went for LSU against Florida State.
I mean, LSU didn't wear them.
All right, Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, and Northridge. Don't know a whole lot about them.
Hillcrest will win that one. Parker, we've already said, a really good team. They're fourth. And
Hartselle and Coleman.
Hartselle, I'm surprised.
Muscle Shoals and Columbia. Sorry, I forgot about
that. But I'm surprised that Hartselle is still ranked so high and lost to. They lost to.
That was a spring game.
No.
They lost to Austin.
Austin at the beginning of the year.
Well, Austin may be good.
Austin ain't.
All right, Mountain Brook and Minor. Mountain Brook lost big to Vestavia, but I think Vestavia might be for real. Theodore and Murphy. Pelham. Pelham does not play this week. And then, like I said, St. Paul's at Saraland.
What about that Theodore Murphy game? What do you feel, Coach?
It's not, Coach Steve Mask is at Theodore now, which he was at Pell City. Didn't have the same kind of success at Pell City, which he was only there for a year. But not the same kind of success that he had. And so I look for, I don't know, I just look.
Did we talk to my boy Rip about
Rip
his
said
game
that he
plan?
thinks they can feel pretty good about it.
Feels
If
got a
they can
good
jump
game
out
plan?
early, they might have a chance. What he said. All right, Thompson at Vestavia Hills, a 1-4 matchup in Class 7A. Central Phoenix City and Enterprise. Enterprise and Central Phoenix City, a 2-3 matchup. So we got a 1-4 matchup and a 2-3 matchup this week in Class 7A. We got a 5-6 matchup in class. So Auburn is playing Dothan High. So we have a 1-4 matchup, a 2-3 matchup, a 5-6 matchup. Hewitt Trussville plays Oak Mountain. We have a 8-9 matchup, Mary Montgomery and Foley, two teams that hadn't been up there but that are really doing a good job. And then you got Hoover 0-2. And they play a 2-0 Spain Park.
Let me tell you.
Hoover could drop out of the top 10.
Let me say, Hoover's got the record right now for the most consecutive weeks in the top 10.
They get beat this week by Spain Park.
They should not be in the top 10 right now. I think the polls are just trying to keep that record going. They should not be in the top 10 right now. They should be in the top 10.
They got beat by a really good Auburn team.
I know that.
So if they lose another one, they'll be.
But who beat Auburn?
Auburn got beat by Enterprise.
That's right.
Who is the number 3.
So Enterprise is the team I'm ready to watch tonight and see what they do against Central Phoenix.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match.
Going to be a good one.
It's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will look at the film room, and after that, we will make picks. We'll be right back on the Winning Drive presented to you by Southern States Bank.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your local bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We're on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. Stop being just another number at the big bank and start being a neighbor at Southern States Bank. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
I am a dreamer who will make a difference in this world.
I'm flying to a future of great promise and change.
I am a mentor committed to helping my students transform their lives.
I'm a hard worker striving to build a better Alabama.
I am a go-getter with ambition and drive.
I am a Gadsden State Cardinal.
Watch me.
Watch me.
Watch me fly.
When the ASAP Prevenger is near, drugs run in fear.
Welcome back to the winning drive.
Bradley, I got Mars Hill, just to let you know.
Yeah, Bradley, I told him you told me he couldn't pick Mars Hill, but he did it anyway.
Wayne, I want to say this. We love what we're doing. And, dude, you're a part of it. I'm glad that you're watching us. And, man, it is a great memories. It's great memories.
We do love what we're doing. We are having a good time.
Absolutely.
We are having. So Sylacauga and Elmore County. Sylacauga and Elmore County played last night. Sylacauga and Elmore County played last night. Yes, Sylacauga, Elmore County. We'll look at the matchups there.
Elmore County. Last night I thought Elmore County looked really good.
Elmore County definitely, like we said, they got some athletes. Running back looked really good. You see quarterback making some guys miss there.
Eric's got to quit.
And you see them doing that. So we're sorry about technical difficulties there for a second.
I hear the long throw. They had two long throws. Yeah, 2 long throws right here. For Elmore County looked good. I was impressed.
They look really good.
Now, Coach Smelly's got a long way to go. I mean,
see the reverse pass.
Yeah,
right
I was going to say we're up. The guy was wide open, and he threw a raindrop in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good throw by a receiver, no doubt. But when you're wide open, I could have made that throw.
Yeah, I would hope so. But I mean, I was not knowing what to expect from Elmore County, just knowing that they were 2-0. I was impressed with them.
They came in, new branding, have really done a good job. This new coach has done a good job with them. And so they're 2-1 now, actually. So that's a big deal for them. Yeah. And so looking at them, but like I said, Sylacauga's got a long way to go. I think Coach Smedley's the man for the job, but it's tough. They're trying to get things going the right direction, but it's tough when your crosstown rival has got a chance to win Class 2A. The school that you share with has got a chance to win Class 4A. That's tough.
Here's one thing I'll say about that. I don't like talking about kids. But to me, last night, Sylacauga looked soft. They had kids.
Let's don't say that.
They had receivers.
Let's don't say that.
They had receivers.
Don't say that.
That wouldn't go across the middle.
I wouldn't like it if you called my kids soft.
Well, if you were soft, I'd call you soft.
But that's not a good look.
I know, but I'm just saying from what I've seen. Look, you got to be honest with people. They'll never know.
Not when it's talking about high school football. These kids make no money. These college kids make a lot of money. These coaches don't make near enough money than what they should make. They don't make what, if we were talking college football, say what you want to. High school football, these coaches are doing everything they can. These kids are doing everything they can with their ability. And I've lived that nightmare. Like, I've lived that nightmare of people thinking we're not doing a good job and people talking about you and doing things like that when you played with the hands that you're dealt. And the same thing with the kids. Like, the kids are giving everything they got. And if you're not very talented, that's one thing. But you can't do anything about that.
Let me say a little lack of effort.
All right, well,
I've seen some lack of effort.
We don't have but about 17 minutes.
No, I was just saying, I'd say lack of effort.
Okay, I'll take lack of effort.
Lack of effort.
Not soft. Soft little.
Okay, but lack of effort last night from some of the receivers. The quarterback threw some decent balls, and you get them old alligator on them.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to the film room. when we go to the film room, there we go. We're going to look at Fayetteville and Ranburne first. Fayetteville at Ranburne right here. You see number 14 for Fayetteville, Cameron Hammonds with a 60-yard touchdown around the left end. And so you see a big play right there from Cameron Hammonds last week. Right here you see a really good defensive play by the defensive line and really filling that, making every gap, making it bounce, doing a good job there. They have a great kicker, so if it comes down to a late kick, number 5, Nick Ibarra, will be a guy you need to watch for the Fayetteville Wolves. And the defense is stinging everything out to the boundaries. They're stretching everything, and so you see them doing a really good job of making it go east and west and not letting them get vertical and go north and south. Right there, you see another making it really hard to run inside. I would like to see them squeeze a little bit more right there against the Ranburne Bulldogs tonight. You're going to have to squeeze out a little bit more. But then you see Cameron Hammonds with a 42-yard run here, really getting north and south. You'd like to see that. Told my flag football guys last night, let's get vertical. Right here you see our Week 0 Offensive Player of the Week, Cade Garrett, with a 13-yard run up the middle. He's a guy that's going to have a big night for the Ranburne Bulldogs if they're going to get back on track. They had a tough night the other night, but if you really look at Wadley, Wadley is another team that may surprise people as the year goes along. So I don't really take a whole lot from that loss. You see Cade Garrett there with another 42-yard run. That offensive line's got to do a really good job for the Ranburne Bulldogs. I think they're going to have to slow things down, have to play really good defensively, and so we see right here a 16-yard pass to Kalen Smith, a guy on the outside that can really be a weapon for the Ranburne Bulldogs. And then right here you see it again, the one-man wrecking crew, Cade Garrett with the scramble run right here around right in for another first down for the Ranburne Bulldogs. So he's going to have a big night for the Ranburne Bulldogs if they're going to win tonight against Fayetteville. The good thing about this, it is at Ranburne, and so we'll be able to do that. Going on to the next one, we look at Westbrook Christian at Ohatchee. Westbrook Christian at Ohatchee matchup. Get that film. There we go. A guy that you need to know, number 7, Lamicah Mitchell. Right here, you're about to see him on a jet sweep this first play when we get into the film room. Lamicah Mitchell off right in for 57 yards. This is a guy that's a really good weapon right here for the Westbrook Christian Warriors. A guy that can make stuff happen in open field. And so that's going to be a guy that could have a key night tonight. We know that Ohatchee is going to punch you in the mouth. We know they want to fight in a phone booth, and they're going to do that. But this is a guy that could make some big plays. Grayson McCall is a guy that I've been very familiar with, that I've been very impressed with. We saw him, became familiar with him at the Jamboree, and we saw him make a play in the backfield where he had 3 guys pretty much circled, made all those guys miss, made another guy miss in open field for a touchdown. Number 3, Drew Whitmore is another guy who runs the ball really hard. He don't look super impressive, but he runs behind the shoulder pads, and he really can run. I think number 1, Grayson Carroll right here, a 14-yard touchdown pass that you're about to see to Cooper Greer, number 9. What a ball. That ball, good coverage. Put right on the money, and great hands and a great catch to stay in bounds by the high school kid there. And then lastly, again, Grayson Carroll again, 30-yard touchdown pass. Again to number 9, Cooper Greer. That's a matchup that you also could see tonight. That looks like that's a pretty good connection for the Westbrook Christian Warriors.
Another great ball.
So, great ball. So, Grayson Carroll can do it on the ground. He can also do it in the air. He's a guy that's going to be a big-time player to look for, and if they're going to win tonight at Ohatchee, he's going to have a big night. Ohatchee, number 8, Jake Robertson, the quarterback for the Ohatchee Indians. Let's look at this 23-yard pass last week at the Hill from him to Jesse Baswell.
I was shocked at the passes that they threw against Welborn. You know, Ohatchee's not a big passing team.
They don't have to be, but I'm telling you, they have a stud at quarterback. Number 14, we remember the run on the interception against Axe. Here's a 13-yard run touchdown from his wing position.
But the interception was unbelievable.
The interception was unbelievable. That was a great run right there as well.
Was.
Jake Robertson falling forward right here with a 43-yard touchdown pass to that same guy, 8 to 14 on a 43-yard connection. Hester is a guy that's turned into a playmaker for Ohatchee. Can he continue to make plays? They're going to have to make plays. You see a little throwback screen right here.
That's the Jones kid, ain't it?
I think it was Jones.
Yep.
That's right. That is the Nate Jones little throwback screen. My bad on that. Baswell right here. Baswell right here, a hard runner, runs behind his shoulder pass. People don't like to tackle him.
No, he's a big boy.
Yeah, big old boy.
He's a big old boy.
Here is the 43-yard touchdown pass to Kobe Hester.
Yeah.
My bad.
I mean, he got wide open, didn't he?
He got wide open.
That's
but that's
because
what they
the
do.
running game
They
is
suck
so
you
good.
in. They suck you in, and when they suck you in, they take advantage of going over the top. Here we go. Jacksonville at Handley. Jacksonville at Handley. This is a game that everybody's looking forward to.
You know, this is going to be I can't wait for this game.
Hey, let me ask you this. Is Jim Ogle actually underrated?
Way underrated. I try to figure out. Okay, listen. He's going to prove it tonight.
What about Fisher and Sinclair? Are them two guys that should be getting more praise?
Yes, but he's going to prove it tonight. Handley goes down to St. James, plays the kid that's already committed to Arkansas. Jim Ogle will prove tonight why he's better than that kid.
I mean, he's going to Troy. I'm not putting any
Nothing
disrespect on Troy. They
I'm
have a
just
great
saying,
program. They've
he
done a
should
great
be a Power
job.
5 guy.
But he's a guy that he's 6'4". I mean,
Power
he's a
5
big guy,
can run.
Can run a little bit. He's labeled as a pocket passer, but he can do enough with his legs to make things happen.
St. Clair, well, I'm anxious to see how open St. Clair gets tonight.
Fisher and Sinclair, that's the thing about them is you can't bracket one guy because they've got a ton of weapons that they can throw at you. Here's the thing I want to see tonight. You know, back when LSU was really good.
How does St. Clair just keep getting open, though?
Because you got two guys. Here's the thing. I think that Chris White, the defensive coordinator for Handley, is going to put together a really good plan.
Fisher.
They can run. Now, they can move. That's why they get open a little bit. But here's my thing tonight.
That's what I was talking about running right there.
Are you able against them to run like a 3-8 defense like back in the day whenever Auburn and LSU played and stop their passing game?
You're going to have to try to do that.
No, but here, can they run good enough to do it? And this is the guy that you talk about the Handley Tigers. They go as E.J. Goss goes, number 22, the running back, also plays defense. He's a guy that adds experience to that defensive backfield. But I talk about E.J. Goss, but I think I could have hit and I got a 6 or 7 yard gain on that hole. They just opened up on that front.
He got more than 6 or 7.
I mean, he did. I'm just saying, like that we could go ground and pound and get a little dirty right here. Like we could do that. And so they keep pounding right there and going right there. I think.
I mean, he had 4 touchdowns last week, 117 carries, 177 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. However, they gonna go however EJ goes.
Yeah, we talking about.
Now here's the other side. Look how good he plays defense as well.
He plays defense really well, but they fly around. Their question marks have been one of the positives for their team. They had question marks about their defense, especially the secondary. They played one of the better throwing teams in 5A down last week. Really put it on them. Put up a lot of points. But here's what travels: run game and defense. They get to play at home tonight. But when you have a good run game and a good defense, you're going to be good. All right. So Buckethead.
Mm-hmm.
We only have about 7 to 10 minutes left in our show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at some matchups, and let's pick some matchups and see where we're at on some matchups and what you're thinking. So that way, if we both, because last week was not a good week for either one of us.
It wasn't a good week for you. It was a great week for me.
It wasn't a great week for either one of us, but I'm trying to figure out why we hadn't had this ready.
Speak because it scrolls, and I thought you were doing one more video.
Well, we're running out of time.
Okay, well, see, you gotta let me know.
Well, I can't let you know on live television. Like we're trying to. But what's the first game I go in? Oh, we talked about Sylacauga and Elmore last night. I picked Elmore to win. He picked Sylacauga earlier in the week, so that's 1-0. Well, that's 1-0 already for me. So we hate to see that. and so we hate to see that go on. So we got Sylacauga behind us. Like I said, they went down. Elmore County, I picked y'all. Buckethead picked Sylacauga, try to go with the local team. So he's already down 1 already to start the week. The Coosa Christian Conquerors, we know you're high on them, 49-0 last night. The win over Galesville, we both expected that. Oxford and Shades Valley. What do you have in Oxford Shades Valley? Why did you go backwards?
I didn't mean to. Hold on. I'm gonna do something right here. We're gonna have to. How about this? Okay, Oxford Shades.
Why don't you make it the full screen?
I can. Oxford to Shades Valley. I'm Oxford all the way, no doubt about that. I mean, no ifs, ands, buts about it.
All right.
Titans and the Bucks.
I got Oxford as well. I don't think this game is going to be close. I got Gadsden City.
I got Gadsden City as well.
In this matchup. I think Gadsden City is a team that really played really well against the Hewitt-Trussville team last week as well. Sure up some things defensively. Who you got?
I don't think that it's going to be a runaway, but
what are you doing?
My thing is turning on its own. I'm going to go with the Cougars, but it's going to be closer than what experts think.
I'm going to go with the Cougars, and it's going to be at least a 4-score ball game.
Coca-Cola.
Okay.
Okay. Or a pack of.
Not going to be close.
Pack of them Chex Mix.
Okay. That's fine.
All
right,
right,
go to the next game.
us.
All right, I got Moody. Alexandria's super young. They got 8th graders starting in their. Alexandria's got 8th graders starting in their secondary on defense. They got a bunch of 8th grade starters. I got Moody to win tonight in the Valley.
We got a problem.
You're killing me.
My bad. We're going to talk real fast because we're going to have to go with it.
Killing me.
Let's
go away from it.
So
Let's
I
go
got
off
Moody.
Of it. Go back to us, and we'll just talk about it.
I got Moody as well.
Just keep it behind us.
Okay. And then
you got to move it over.
And then on that game there, I've got Clay Central.
I got Clay Central.
I've got Cleveland County right there.
I don't even know who we're picking because it keeps flipping
County
faster than I can actually do it.
I can't stop it.
I got Cleveland County at Talladega.
It's your list is right.
Guys, we're sorry.
No, we're not.
When you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail.
Okay.
Understand that.
Okay, here we go. You got Mumford and Anniston. Mumford and Anniston. Now,
Mumford and Anniston. I think Anniston gets back on the winning streak. I think they get back on the winning side. I think they've got a really good chance to get the rails back on the track after going down there and it just all falling apart going off the track at Andalusia. People don't realize that was a 7-0 ball game. It ended up being 39-0.
I know.
At halftime, it was 7-0.
7-0 at halftime.
And so they got a chance to get it back on the tracks. Mumford's going to also be trying to get it back on the tracks after a loss at home to Childersburg. I think the Anniston Bulldogs win at home tonight, though.
I got to go with the Anniston Bulldogs. I hate to do that to my Mumford boys, but I'm going to tell you something. You can't lose to Childersburg and Buckhead right with you.
Yeah, you're right.
So
what's our next one?
Jacksonville Hanley.
Man.
At Hanley.
It's at Hanley. Man, as much I love my guy Clint Smith, and as much as I really like Jim Ogle and Fisher and Sinclair, they brought in Brian Owen to be their defensive coordinator this year. That was a great hire. As much as I like all those guys, I think Hanley's just too much at home.
Not so fast, my friend.
Okay, the last time you said not so fast, you didn't even pick them. So
here's what I'm going to say. Hanley feels good about themselves.
Yeah, pick up your marker.
Hanley feels good about themselves because they beat a quarterback that's already going to Arkansas.
Yeah.
This quarterback's not going to Arkansas. And when the night's done, he'll be able to choose where he wants to go. Jacksonville goes down to Hanley and gets it done tonight.
I'm glad you picked up that marker because you look like some of your picks look like Lee Corso, the old Lee Corso.
Okay, got Cherokee County at Good Hope.
Cherokee County.
No doubt about it. No Good Hope for Good Hope tonight. Cherokee County. Etowah, Asheville.
Etowah's got there's some, and you don't want to go into it, but coach is on administrative leave. Don't know what happened. A lot of rumors. You don't want to speculate. You never want to play with somebody's life. But I don't think, even with all that distraction, I still think Etowah goes and gets their first win of the year.
Coach Buckethead could coach that team and beat Asheville tonight. I hate to say that,
yeah.
but we got athletes. Piedmont going to Sylvania. Not going to be a cakewalk for Piedmont.
Well, who you got?
Who you got?
Piedmont
goes to Sylvania and wins by the slightest of margins.
I got Piedmont too. I wanted to pick against you. I couldn't.
Weaver at Dadeville.
Dadeville. Weaver
will make this a close ball game. It'll be closer than what experts think. I say a touchdown. Dadeville.
Right. Well, but we got about 2 minutes.
Well, Sachs at Beulah.
Sachs at Beulah. I got Sachs.
Sachs wins tonight, boys. The Freeney era starts tonight. They win tonight. Westbrook Christian at Ohatchee at the Creek Bank.
Say that again.
Westbrook Christian at Ohatchee at the Creek Bank.
Steve Smith, year one, not enough. I got Ohatchee at the Creek Bank.
Ohatchee at the Creek Bank. Chris Finley riding with him. Glencoe, Hoax Bluff.
I got Glencoe.
Got to go with Coach Martin?
I'm going with Coach Martin. I wasn't super impressed.
It's at Hoax Bluff. I'm giving them home field advantage. They win by 1.
Okay.
Randolph County, Childersburg.
Randolph County.
That game's going to be closer than what people think.
All right, go to the next one. What do you got? Who do you got?
I got Randolph County.
Okay.
Walnut Grove.
I got West End, Walnut Grove.
Valley. You got West End, Walnut Grove? I got Pleasant Valley all day.
Okay.
All day in the morning.
I hope you're right.
And twice on Sunday.
I hope you're right. I'm trying to do a better job of not picking with my
Collinsville
heart.
at Section.
I got Collinsville.
By a mile. Collinsville will win that game.
My boy,
by
Tanner Nelson.
Spring Garden at Wadley.
I got Wadley.
Last week for Spring Garden, they're going to be in the post for the rest of the year. Wadley not.
No, they'll get back.
Wadley hurt Spring Garden in this game. Fayetteville, Ramburn.
I got Fayetteville.
I like what I seen from Fayetteville as well. I got to go with Fayetteville. I'm running with Fayetteville. Well, let's just say this. Wadley's a beast. I'm going with Ramburn. I changed my pick right at the minute. You cannot go by what happened to Ramburn last week against Wadley.
Okay.
Woodland, BB Comer. Sorry, Woodland, not going to happen tonight.
BB Comer.
BB Comer. Dono at Raglan.
Raglan.
Raglan, the Purple Devils. TC, Victory.
I got Victory.
TC gets their first win of the year.
Not going to happen.
Cedar Bluff, Woodville, Cedar Bluff by a mile. Coosa, Central Coosa, and Vincent. Vincent gets that game. I just say it'll be closer than what it
ain't going to be close.
Horseshoe Bend at Lynette.
I got Lynette.
Me too. Southside at Lincoln, the big game of the night.
It's our TV24 high school primetime game of the week. I've got Southside, even though they're going to be playing without their quarterback, 10 Gage Neesmith, I still got Southside. That run game for them is going to be hard to beat.
I got Southside as well. It's going to be tough for Lincoln. Even though they're playing at home, I like Southside. I like their linebacker, the rich kid, because he got on Coach Taylor last week for talking about his socks. I like it when a guy comes in and says, yeah, I watched it. He can't be talking about me like that. He's a bad dude. He was wearing folks out last week. I look for him to control the middle again this week.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. This has been the Winning Drive presented by Southern States Bank. Check back with us tonight as we have the Coaches Show starting at 10 after the high school primetime TV24 Sports Game of the Week at Lincoln between the Lincoln Golden Bears and the Southside Panthers. And we'll make fun of how many games Buckethead missed on his pick once again in week 2. Have a great day. We hope you enjoy the game. Join me and Austin